peace with others begins with clarity within. Most people don't stress because of others. They stress because they don't know what they stand for. So they bend, overextend, react to every opinion, chase every reaction, trying to be liked while slowly losing themselves. But the Stoic sees the truth. You can't control people. You can't fix them. You can't carry their moods. You can only control your position. And when that position is clear, you stop over-explaining. You stop apologizing for your standards. You stop needing them to understand. Because peace doesn't come from agreement. It comes from alignment. Inner alignment with what you value, what you tolerate, what you'll walk away from without noise. So when you deal with people, don't start with how do I fix this? Start with what am I allowing? What am I expecting? What am I afraid to walk away from? Clean that, and the rest follows. The strongest position in any conflict is not louder words. It's a quiet mind that knows exactly where it stands. Stop seeking approval. It looks harmless, just a smile, just a what do you think, just a need to be seen. But slowly, you trade silence for noise, direction for permission, power for applause. And the more you seek approval, the more lost you become. Because now you're shaping yourself for them. Not for truth, not for purpose, not for peace. The Stoic doesn't need to be liked, he needs to be aligned. He doesn't shift tone for the room. He doesn't dilute his voice to keep the peace. He doesn't perform. He stands, even if it costs him connection, because connection built on pretending is a cage. Seneca wrote, "Look inward, not outward, for validation." Because what they think of you is never more important than what you think when it's just you. And silence. So next time you feel the pull to explain, to please, to be chosen, don't. Breathe, stand still, and let the discomfort pass. Approval feels sweet, but it fades fast. Integrity doesn't. And in the end, only one of those will keep you standing wreck when the crowd turns quiet. Be honest, ruthlessly. Not polite, not filtered, not safe, just clear. Most people bend their words to keep the moment easy, to avoid tension, to stay liked. But truth doesn't serve comfort, it serves alignment. The Stoic doesn't say what's nice, he says what's true. Not to cut, not to win, but because falsehood, even small, is a rot from the inside. Honesty is clean. It's simple. It doesn't have to remember anything. Say what you mean what you say, and walk like it's already true. They might not like it, they might not clap, but they will feel the weight of a man who has nothing to hide. And you'll sleep well, because the most peaceful mind is the one that never has to look over its shoulder. So stop softening your truth to protect their feelings. You're not responsible for their comfort, you're responsible for your integrity. And when in doubt, choose the clean line. Say it once, say it calm, and let it stand. Take nothing personally. Their reaction? Not about you. Their tone? Not about your worth. Their silence? Not your responsibility. People act from their own filters. Wounds, fears, stories they've carried long before you arrived, and yet you absorb it, replay it, try to decode it like it says something about you. It doesn't. The Stoic sees this. He doesn't take offense, because he doesn't hand out that much power. You don't control their mood, their narrative, their lens. You only control your response. So the next time someone cuts you short, doubts you, ignores you, talks behind your back, pause, ask, is this really about me? Or is it just them projecting pain I never caused? Don't carry what isn't yours. Don't bleed for someone else's wound. You don't need to defend, you don't need to explain. You just need to remember. Your peace doesn't depend on their behavior. It depends on your clarity. So take nothing personally. Take everything with stillness. Patience is a weapon. It doesn't look like power, but it is. While they react, you wait. While they speak, you observe. While they rush, you hold. Patience is not weakness, it's restraint with teeth. Because the one who doesn't flinch owns the moment. Most people want quick closure, quick revenge, quick answers. But the Stoic is in no hurry. He's not here to win fast, he's here to last long. He understands impulse makes noise, But patience makes impact. Let them talk, let them twist, let them try to pull you in. You don't move, you don't explain, you don't match chaos with chaos, you just wait. Calm, clear, ready. And when it's time to speak, you do. Once, sharp, unshakable. Patience isn't passive, it's loaded. And when it's used right, it cuts deeper than rage ever could. Because while they burn their energy trying to prove something, you conserve yours. And when the dust settles, you're still standing. Be the example. Don't preach, don't convince, don't try to pull them up. Just stand where they didn't expect anyone to stand. Most people talk about change, you become it. They complain, you correct. They blame, you build. The Stoic doesn't raise his voice, he raises his standard. Not for attention, but because that's the only level he tolerates. You don't have to argue values, you don't have to explain boundaries, you don't have to defend your code. Just live it, ruthlessly, without apology. Let your posture speak, let your pace speak, let your peace speak. And when they question you, don't justify, just continue. Because no one remembers what you say. They remember what you embodied. When it was hardest to do so, lead without leading, impress without trying, show what's possible. By doing it quietly, that's how you move people. Not through volume, but through undeniable presence. Guard your inner citadel. Not everything deserves access. Not everyone gets a key. Your peace, your clarity, your center, it's not public. Marcus Aurelius called it the inner citadel, a fortress inside you that no one can enter unless you invite them. But most people leave the gate wide open. They let criticism in, let gossip in, let opinions, moods, projections flood the halls, and then wonder why their mind feels like a battleground. The Stoic doesn't do that. He filters, he watches, he guards, not with aggression, but with choice. He decides who gets energy, who gets proximity, who gets a response. Because not every opinion deserves a reaction. Not every conflict deserves your peace. Not every voice deserves to echo in your head. Guard it, like it matters, because it does. Your inner citadel is your last line. And if you lose that, you answer to everyone and belong to no one. So tighten the circle, quiet the noise, close the gates, and let in only what serves the man you're still building. Love without needing to win. Not every conversation needs a victor. Not every disagreement needs a scar. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is not prove your point. Just stay present, stay grounded, and still choose to love. The Stoic doesn't love because it's easy. He loves because it's right, not out of weakness, not out of need, but out of conviction. Because real love is a decision, not a reaction. You don't need to win the argument. You don't need to be right every time. You don't need the last word. You need peace. You need truth. You need to walk away without betraying your code. That means let them misunderstand you. Let them project, let them twist. You stay clean, you stay kind, you stay you. Seneca wrote, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness. Even when they're wrong, even when they're loud, even when they don't give it back. Because love, when detached from outcome, becomes untouchable. It doesn't bend for approval, it doesn't need applause, it just moves through the moment without losing itself. And that kind of love isn't weak, it's unconquerable. The strongest person in the room isn't arguing, he doesn't raise his voice, doesn't rush to defend, doesn't need the last word. Because he knows truth doesn't need noise, power doesn't need proof, and clarity doesn't need to be loud. He watches, he listens, he speaks when needed, and then stops, not out of passivity, out of control. Most people argue to feel seen, to feel in charge, to feel enough. But the Stoic doesn't chase that. He already knows where he stands. And when you're centered, you don't have to push. The strongest man in the room isn't the one talking the most. It's the one who can speak, but doesn't need to. Because his peace isn't on the line. His worth isn't up for debate. His energy isn't for sale. He doesn't win by defeating others. He wins by not losing himself in the process. So he lets them spin, let them perform, let them burn out, proving they're right. He stays still, unbothered, unchanged. Because in the end, when the dust settles, the one who stayed quiet is the one who stays standing.